Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to the Brickhouse Exchange. Here I have with you today my friend Micah Terrill, professional MMA fighter and owner of HotBox Boxing and Fitness in Millersville, Maryland. How you doing today, Micah?
I'm doing pretty good, man. I appreciate you having me out here. And he said my name properly. And it's like, how many dang times I've announced it and anybody in life? Like, Micah Terrill.
Terrill, yeah, sure. Yeah, man. Thanks for coming out, though, man.
Absolutely.
So, I have a few questions for you today, man. What got you started in MMA?
That is what got me started. That's a heck of a question, because nobody really says I just want to go, get punched in the face. Like, I grew up playing sports my whole life. Played college down in Alabama, baseball, and I ended up throwing my arm out, getting hurt, and ended up coming home early. When I, younger, still felt like I had something to give. So naturally, I get home and I get a job because that's what you do after college, right? So I was working with a power company, Pepco, out of DC, and work, money was good, but these guys were just miserable. Like, so I'm looking at them like, boy, 40 years of this, and then all you guys do is complain about your home life, your wife. You guys drink every night. It's like, I was like, I don't know if that's what guys got ready for me. So basically, I started going to a gym and just training a little bit. So I was lifting, keeping up my physique and stuff. And then the guy said, "Hey man, you ever thought about MMA?" This was like back in 2006. 2007, so right like when it started to really take off like here in the U.S. And I was like, nah, I never thought about it because I never wanted to do it. I wrestled growing up and stuff like that. I went through a few gyms and stuff, and then I just took a leap of faith to quit my job, and started doing it full time. And now here I am, professional. Just fought last year for Bellator and got smoked, but it happens. I smoked a lot more fools than I got smoked, so it's all right.
For sure. Definitely, we know that for sure. So did it kind of humbled you when you first went in? You said you got a little bit of work, like when you first started. Because I want to ask, because I came from like a Taekwondo background, man, and when I first tried Jiu-Jitsu, I was like, damn, man, I got nothing.
Yeah,
I got mounted by a girl. I was like, let me see if I can get out. Like, I couldn't even get up.
You're like a pretzel.
For sure. So that humbled me for sure.
Yeah, it humbled me real quick. It humbles you in the weirdest, smallest of ways, because now you look at these little guys and you're like, oh, you ain't nothing. Next thing you were just your lights out. You wake up and like, what happened?
What happened? For sure.
It was jiu-jitsu. Actually, did pretty well at jiu-jitsu. I was better at than the striking. Everybody thinks they got hands. Everybody, so of course naturally I'm like, I got this. I go to Baltimore boxing for my first sparring session. So I'm going in there. I'm about to hit on bags. These guys like, I can do this, and I go to throw a punch, and I'm like, oh, I was like a 5-year-old kindergartner in there. I didn't know, so I kind of like hid behind the thing, like trying to watch, trying to get some work. And my coach was like, all right, come on, time to get in. I said, huh? So I gotta get in with these guys, And so yeah, I got tired in about 30 seconds, but that's just normal, especially when you hold your breath and you don't really know what you're doing.
Get excited.
Excited, I was, and then the next round I got a liver shot and thought I had a heart attack. I was like, I'm dying. I was like,
man down.
Man down. And he's like, you gotta keep going. I said, I can't do nothing. I was like, what are you talking? So stand up was more of the real quick humble. Jiu-jitsu, obviously, I've lost in submissions professionally and stuff, but wrestling growing up really built me for it. Like I was always athletic positions, dominant positions, and I could get out of stuff, whether it was real or that was the right way to get out. I just I would just athletically move and get out of it. So I kind of fell in love with that and started doing jiu-jitsu a lot more, competing in tournaments, and then I got when I had my first amateur boxing, and then 3 fights in a row, I just knocked out. And I was like, hold up, I don't gotta go to the ground. You mean if I can hit? So, And then my forte kind of changed.
Yes, sir.
I'm a striker by trade, but I'm also a Brazilian jiu-jitsu black belt.
Really good on the ground. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Congratulations on that.
Thank you, sir.
You got your black belt a while ago. Yes, sir.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. It took me almost 12 years to get it.
Yes, sir.
I was with different schools. I was with one school for a while. They're great. Their jiu-jitsu is amazing. I was brown belted all the way up to them for, I had my brown belt for 2.5 years before I got my black belt. Almost 3 actually. When Carlos, I came under the tutelage of him, he just, just saw something in it and, said your time. And then, no one ever really wants to get to that. Like, you want that. You strive to get to that high level. But then when you get there, like, crap, you got to know everything.
Man.
It's like, because you don't want the cat just coming in, like a lower belt and ain't been doing it, and you get caught, so you got to always be on guard and stuff like that.
Right. Got submitted by blue belt. Hold up.
Yeah, you're like that. Wait, so what am I, Gracie? Like online? Like I don't know. You know.
Right.
So.
What are you feeling, man? I like to ask this question. What are you feeling? Like, how are you feeling? Like leading up to the fight and like walking into the cage, man. Like, what are you feeling?
So that's a good question. I mean, I'll tell you right now, walking into the cage, like leading up for a fight and walking into the cage, is two totally different feelings.
Okay.
And if anybody tells you differently, that's, you know, they either they haven't really been in that situation, or they just something's wrong with them. Because you know, you get all the hype and anticipation for this fight. You're psyched, you're pumped. You know, you go through the weight cut, and you're like boom, like, you know, you're fired up. And then when it comes, you know, night of, you know, you start, you know, kind of switch. You're still fired up, and you have to be able to, you know, maintain that separation, you know, of actually being too nervous and let your feelings and stuff fold, you know, get the best of you versus, you know, being amped up. And, you know, so basically leading up to the fight, you know, you're all jacked up, you know, you're motivated, you're training 100%, you're doing what you got, you know, you got to do to win the fight. You never leave anything left open, you know what I mean? So I don't go into a fight thinking that I'm underprepared. You always want to be enough prepared, and that's all you're ever going to question, really. And then walking to the cage, up until walking to the cage, you're kind of butterflies, you know, you're anxious, you're nervous, like you're doing your thing, you're like, as soon as my music hits.
That would always get me hyped, man. I see you going.
I got that goosebumps. I got goosebumps right now.
Yes, sir.
And Mike Tyson.
I hear that. Yes, sir. My man.
So as soon as that hits, it's like a switch.
Yes, sir.
It's a switch, and then you're just locked in, and you're like, I mean, shoot, you're the only one in there. I mean,
let's go.
You know, your coaches are there, but that door's locked, so you can't really, like, hey,
right, you're on the outside.
You hop in and help me out a little bit. You
right,
know,
right.
You ain't got that. It's you versus him.
And can you like hear him? I always wonder too, like when it's crowded, because I watch you fight in like Shogun fights and stuff. You can hear him like clear. You kind of tune out the noise. You hear your coaches.
You absolutely do, and that's one of the things, like amateurs like ask me, like some of my young fighters, like, well, I'm almost ready to go pro, you know, this, and I'll sit them down and I'll tell them, I'm like, look, here's the different levels of going, if you're amateur and pro, right? If you know, you can hear me, like, so in the cage, I was like, oh, can you hear me last fight? Oh, I heard some things and that, you know, you said arm bar, but I was like, well, first of all, I said, you need to transition to this, yada, 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 and then you end up in arm bar, or, you know, double jab, you know, whatever direction or, you know, thing I'm telling them to do. If they're not doing everything, or if they're not recognizing, or if they say they didn't hear it, then they're not ready. Especially in fights. Even though it's loud, it's not that loud. In the cage, it's dead silence. I can literally hear every single word come out of my coach's mouth. I can hear every single word that comes out of my opponent's mouth.
Gotcha.
And that's kind of like the mentality. As soon as you can slow everything down, and you don't have to rush, you're not out. You know that even though you are in there by yourself, you're not by yourself, because they can see more things from outside the cage than you can see in. So when you can differentiate and listen and hear that and fully hear, like you said, everything, that's when you're on that level that, you know, you're ready to go, and you're not just in there guessing, like, I'm just going to go here wild and swing because I can't hear what my coaches are and I don't know what I'm really doing, you know. So so to answer your question, yeah, I can hear every single thing that they're saying, whether it's good or bad.
Awesome, man. Awesome. Well, there you have it, guys. Micah Terrill. Let them know where to find you, Micah.
Oh, man, you can find me actually at HotBox, Boxing and Fitness, 24/7. I'm always there, whether it's 6 a.m. or, you know, 8, 9 o'clock at night with the kids wrestling and everything. We got a great thing going, very family-oriented place. Other than that, you can find me on IG at CMe2024, or you can find me on Facebook as Micah Terrill, and Twitter as CMe2024, I believe, or CMe34. And basically, name comes from, if you got a problem, you can see me.
See me. Yes, sir. All right, guys. Till next time.
Appreciate you having me out there, big dog.
Yeah, thanks for coming through,
Oh,
man.
absolutely.
Appreciate you, man.
Again.
Yes,
Absolutely.
sir.